Yet again, everyone, and welcome to the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya here in Spain for week 11 of the Midwest F1 League. I'm Hotspot, and here we are in Spain. 16 corners make up this 4.6 kilometer circuit with 9 to the right and 7 to the left. 2 DRS zones here, with the main point of overtaking being the front stretch, which is the longest straight in Formula 1. I believe that's actually true. Another place to kind of look out for overtaking here, obviously going into turn 1. Turn 1 is going to be one of those places where some overtaking is going to be happening, but it's not a ridiculously tight corner like we see, at Austria for one place, where it's just absolutely ridiculous. This actually has a lot of space, these first 3 corners. Obviously, we got the completely very tricky turn of turn 3 that everybody has to worry about, that right-hander that if you basically just tap the gas whatsoever, you're going outside track limits. But here we are, week 11 of the season. We are, I believe, more than halfway through at this point. Well, more than halfway. How many actually rounds do we have? I should know this off the top of my head. I don't. Unprepared. Imagine that. Imagine being unprepared for your own show. Right, so this is 15 out of... This is 15 out of 20, so only 5 races to go after this round here. Mind you, we do have the... What do you call it? We do have the race at Russia, which we are going to be making up for after that lobby failure. So we got a couple cars making their way out on track now. I believe that is a Red Bull of Sadistic King. That's a rival. Sadistic King is first out on track in the Williams, and behind him, I believe, is Racing Ginger in that BWT Racing Point. Now he's actually going to be coming out right now. His teammates, it's Heavy S on his outlap. Let's go back down to Sadistic King and just give you a little bit of the layout of this track. So here he goes. He's coming into turn 5. Now this one is actually pretty difficult because you could very easily mess up that corner and lose a lot of time. And then here we are into 6 and 7. One of the more fun parts of the track, I'd say, when you kind of come through this little chicane of 7 into 8, and then up around this right-hander of turn 9. We have a yellow flag already. Looks like by Alpha Tauri that's come off. Went through the DRS zone into turn 10, which I believe is getting... something is changing with that turn 10. I believe it's actually... getting wider. I'm not really sure what the deal is with that. And then down through 13, 14, 15, and then finally through 16. So. Let's ride along with Sadistic King for this lap. Only 2 driver changes for tonight. K-Dog is going to be replaced by Ginger as K-Dog fills in for Division 1, and then Adoltonian was going to be replaced by Cam, but I only see one Alfa Romeo in the field, and that is Money Matt. So, not really sure what's happened there. But. So as we ride along with Sadistic King here, just a quick note, he has not been feeling very well lately. I'm not really sure what's going on with him, but from what I've heard, he has not been in the best shape, so I hope he feels better very soon, as obviously it'd be a shame if he was to miss one of these races. But yeah, so he's feeling a little bit ill, but he has chosen to come along in the race anyways, and he's going to be the first person to complete a timed lap here. So as he heads through 11 and 12. Part of the track's really tricky as well, because you could really mess up that exit of turn 12 and actually really just lose a lot of time there. And through here now, through 16, you can't be on the gas the whole time. I think maybe in F1 you probably could, but I know in F2 it's a lot more difficult my background obviously being an F2, but Sadistic King setting the fastest lap so far. First one is at the time, Heavy S. The second one is at the time, though he's almost a second behind Sadistic King, so lots of room to improve here as GDB has just straight up retired from the session already. I don't even think he did one lap, so that is interesting to say the least. So Impossible Bacon in the Mercedes, going to be out on his, actually Domingo's on a time lap at the moment as he heads through turn 8 and then out of 9 into the DRS section. Here he is now into 10. So yeah, this corner here in particular is actually going to be wide, and I can see if you can see where the rest of that little track is right there behind. That's, I believe, where the turn 10 is going to be going to. I know this map is the updated one, the one that I have on the laptop, so that might get confusing at times because on the screen it looks different from what I have. So that can get a little bit confusing for me. So get ready for that to be mistake after mistake. Speaking of mistakes, Domingos did not get the best exit out of 16 and he's going to go 5th at the moment, with Cake Thomas being the closest one to not being Sadistic King off the top of the pedestal at the moment. Who else is on the timed lap at the moment? Smith in the McLaren. His teammate Domingo's just setting that 5th place worthy run. Smith fell out of 16, across the line, and he's going to go 5th. Hopping over his teammates in the 5th spot. So our leader currently Sadistic King, Heavy S and Money Matt. Money Matt's actually jumping 4th. What a lap for him. Those guys all sitting in the pits currently. The only other person, we do have a Racing Point coming out. Might be Saffron City here in the Williams. He's currently on his outlap, yet to make a time. So Racing Ginger currently finds himself 4 seconds off the pace. I believe he's just had his time to lead here, Saffron. He took that chicane a little bit too liberally. Do we have a car off? We do. I think he's just letting drivers go by, but Smith Hell's going to throw some gravel into his car. I don't know, maybe putting more weight in it. I remember when Grosjean had something like that. He had some gravel hit his hand or something. So Smith Bell's taking his trip for the gravel. A lot of cars in the pits now. Not too many out on track. We do have Impossible Bacon out on track in the Mercedes. Currently making a time lap for himself. Saffron City in the Williams, I believe, has just... Nope, he's started his timed lap now. So while we've got a moment here, let's go over our Constructors Championship. As currently, this is quite the battle shaping up here amongst this top 3, with the 4th place of Alpha Tauri creeping even closer to possibly... Oh goodness me, Impossible Bacon. I saw he had... I saw that he had... retired from the session on my screen. Little did I know, he's absolutely binned it on exit of turn 4, so that is fortunate for him. As this Mercedes team starting to get a little bit of pep in their step as of recently, as detail last time out at Zandvoort, getting the podium, the highest finish for Mercedes of the year. But as we look at the Constructors standings, so as you see, Williams on top at 277, McLaren 1 point behind Williams at 276 in second, and then Ferrari 1 point behind McLaren sitting in third at 275, and then we go down to Alpha Tauri currently sitting 4th, about 35 points off of third. But that is, I mean, we could have potentially, if this race goes well for that Alpha Tauri team, we could potentially have a 4-team battle for this Constructors Championship. That's going to be absolutely amazing to see as we start to close in on the final stretch of the season here. Only 5 races to go after this one, so this is going to be fun to watch for sure. As Cake Thomas still sitting in second, though he is making his outlap. Saffron City has just made his lap. He's currently sits 3rd. Heavy S up there in the Racing Point sits in 4th currently. Good lap from him. Super Ninus in the Renault as he goes through turn 4. He's on a time lap as well. So as we go down in the Constructors standing, we've got Red Bull sitting there in 5th at 217. So, I mean, it's not completely out of reach for Red Bull, although they've had a lot of bad luck recently. So not completely out the window for Red Bull, but they have a lot of ground to make up. And then as you start getting down, we got Alpha. So we got actually Renault behind the Red Bull. They currently sit 6th at 177. Haas sitting there in 7th at 156, and the only change in positions in the standing, Mercedes jumping over BWT Racing Point 139 to 134, and then Alfa Romeo sitting in 10th at 134 as well. So a little bit further, a little bit dispersed throughout the midfield, but at the top and at the bottom of the standings, very, very closely contested. And what has happened there? A Ferrari has just gone very, very wide out in turn 10. I believe that was #9211 had actually gone around, completely around the corner. I'm not sure if he was trying to let a car go by or what his deal was with that. But so a side note on #9211. So remember he won last week. Well, that's not exactly the case, as his win got taken from him. A very, I would say, controversial decision by the stewards, as his race win was taken from him after receiving a 3-second time penalty for I'd say an incident on the safety car restart there, and also not saving his footage from the race. So pretty much he got his win stripped from him. So Kate Thomas technically has won the Zandvoort Grand Prix. I wonder if it actually says that on the schedule. Yeah, so Kate Thomas did officially take the win. So right along with #9211. Now, there's no doubt in this kid's talent. I think #9211 is starting to make quite a name for himself here after getting onto the top step of the podium last time out. Let's see if he can perform here. He was actually, he put it in the Discord earlier in the week. This is the track where he broke his first wheel. So he's got a little bit of unpleasant history with this track, as I'm sure a lot of drivers do. This is one of those tracks that really gets hated on a lot. I mean, me personally doesn't mind it, as I finished second back-to-back in the F2 races yesterday. This #9211, look at him go. He's up to second. Kate Thomas on provisional pole has put quite the gap. Smith Pell, as I say, quite the gap. A big gap to go over. Smith Pell, the McLaren, has gone on provisional pole as we go under 7 minutes to go in this qualifying session, as Kate Thomas coming into the pits now is probably going to make one last-ditch effort at pole once he decides to come back out. And OP Magic in the Haas. OP Magic in the Haas goes on pole, and he has put a second back on Smith Pell. I can't ever recall seeing this OP Magic guy, but let me tell you, he has just put himself on the map with that lap. What a strong lap that was from OP Magic in the Haas, and the Haas team will very much appreciate a good finish today. I can tell you what, they are not too far off of Renault. I'll tell you what, only about 21 points off of 6th place, so I tell you what, that wouldn't be terrible. It would actually be very helpful for the Haas team with a good result today. Wow. Never before have I seen this OP Magic guy, and he's just gone pole, provisional pole. Who else is on track? We only got not a lot of cars left in the pits. Here comes #9211 after his lap time gets completed. Let's check in on Domingos as he, he's going to be coming in as well. Detail, no, he's coming in. Money Matt, he heads through turn, I had it for a second. That's turn 7 and 8. Up the hill through 9. Down the DRS section, into the corner. Let's see if he can get this entry correctly. And yeah, he actually does a really good job with that, setting a fastest sector 2. So yeah, good lap so far from Money Matt, despite finding himself in 10th currently. Let's see if he can improve upon his time as he heads through sector 3. Oh, and he just about lost it there. Good job from him to save the car, but that was very scary for Money Matt. He was having a great lap going as well. That is quite unfortunate for him. 5 minutes to go now, left in this qualifying section. Is Money Matt going to try another time lap here? He might. So speaking of the Haas drivers, the Yuppie is found himself in the second row. Currently sitting 4th. Maybe a push from the Haas team this weekend. That'd be great to see. Get some new winners. So yeah, as we saw earlier, Money Matt was just going over the chicane through turn 14, about lost the car. So again, good job from him to keep it off any walls, out of any danger. But I'm sure he's absolutely squared his tires, and I don't think this is going to be a timed lap. I think he's going to find himself back to the pits at the end of this. So no real change at the top of the leaderboards yet. Though Cake Thomas is on an outlap now. Ooh, okay, that's interesting. Still right along the line of it. His teammate Cake Thomas back there in third. Sui has not made a timed lap yet. So this is going to be a timed lap from Money Matt as he exits 16. Where's that going to put him? And he will get up to 9th, so pretty solid improvement there, going from 12th to 9th. And we do have a Mercedes that's gone off. I say gone off, just letting some drivers go by. But Cake Thomas has found his way, or Smith Pell. I thought Cake Thomas was up there for a second. It looks like Smith Pell's going to be on his outlap. So this McLaren team, they aren't too far off first place either. As I said, a 1-point gap between first and second, only 2 between first and third. So this is this is shaping up to be one of the best battles, Constructors standings battles that we've seen here in the Midwest F1 League. Though I'm sure those boys down in Div 3 and 4 might have something in store for us as well, as those leagues, those divisions have pretty much respectively started their seasons by now. I know Div 3 has been underway for quite some time. I know Div 4 has just started up last weekend, I believe. It's either last weekend or Div 4. Not really sure. So a couple cars on their outlap now. The Smith Pell and the McLaren, and then see Sadistic King and the Williams also on his outlap. So both McLarens on their outlaps. We've got Racing Point of Heavy S on his outlap, and then his teammate Racing Ginger on a time lap. So here we have Sui in the Alpha Tauri yet to make a timed lap, and with 2 minutes to go, it's going to be close. He has waited to the end of the session. He has not put down 1 lap yet. He's actually doing this on the medium tires. Only 3 or 4 drivers on the medium tire, one of them being the Yuppie sitting in 4th. Couldn't believe if he put on softs, he could have maybe gotten pole. But the 3 drivers on mediums and Fox with Bacon, who we saw crash out over there. I believe that was in turn 6 on exit 6. Racing Ginger sitting in 16th currently, and then Sweet, who has yet to make a timed lap, and we're going to ride along with him through his timed lap here, his first of the session. 16 he goes. He's got, let's see, Williams in front of him. Surely that's either, well, it's either one of the Williams, actually. They're both on time laps at the moment. Mercedes gone off and letting him go by. Sui, who we saw on the podium not too long ago. And in back. Let's see if he can make a solid run here. Under a minute to go now in this qualifying session. As we said before, OP Magic on pole, provisional pole currently. He's got nearly a second of gap between himself and second place of Smith Pell. And then in third is currently Cake Thomas. 4th is the Yuppie, who's on a time lap. 5th we have Hash 9211, who's on an out lap, though I'm not really sure he's going to be able to make it back to the line. He's got 30 seconds to do so. He's been making it through 14 and 15. He might have enough time. So let's see what Sweet can do on this time lap. Is that an Alfa Romeo that's going off? Has Money Matt just DNF'd while we weren't watching it? That could have possibly happened, as he is gone completely off the circuit. So OP Magic currently still has pole. Sadistic King in seconds. Still quite a gap back there. Sui has put himself in 10th, though I think he's going to get another lap here. So Sui might still have an opportunity. Hash 9211 making his way. Oh, and his lap time's been deleted. That's a shame. Sadistic King in the Williams, he's still on a timed lap. Let's ride along with him as he goes through out of 4 and into 5, 6, and 7. Sui is just retired from the session. He sits 10th. Looks like Detail has retired from the session as well. He currently sits 7th, getting on the podium last week at Zandvoort. It's in the Mercedes. So here comes Sadistic King into Sector 3, through Turn 10. 11 and 12 he goes. He's having a pretty solid lap at the moment. Meanwhile, the Yuppie has been moved back down to 6th, but still a good qualifying result there. And so Sadistic King not going to get that timed lap in. That is quite unfortunate for him. And I think the only other car on a timed lap here is Best Pons, but he is making his way into the pits. Do we have anyone else that could be making timed laps? And I don't think we do. So OP Magic getting pole in what I think might be his first race in the Midwest F1 League. We will go over the qualifying results in just a minute. Solid stuff so far. OP Magic, who I've never even seen before in this division, let alone this league entirely, on pole. OP Magic getting pole in the Haas, on the medium tires as well. Sadistic King in the Williams, despite feeling ill, he comes home 2nd. Super Ninas in the Renault in 3rd. What a starting spot for him. Smith Pell 4th. Cake Thomas in 5th. The Yuppie 6th. Hash 9211 in 7th. Detail in 8th. Saffron in 9th. 10th is Domingos 11th. The Swede Money Matt in 12th. Spool and Dub in 13th. 14th Heavy S. 15th is Best Pons. 16th is Impossible Bacon, 17th Racing Ginger, and then rounding out the field in 18th, only 18 cars in this race, is GDB in the Red Bull. So after that exciting qualifying session, as we find a Haas on pole, this is going to be one interesting race here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. And it looks a little bit cloudy, actually. Could it possibly rain? That'd be interesting to see. Rain race is always welcome here in the Midwest F1 League. That's for sure. As we wait for players. Reminder not to hit X on our grid here. As winter testing has kicked off for F1, I believe actually tomorrow, Friday. That's going to be fun to see. Remember we had last week, we had the one person that hit that X button way too soon. So as you remember, for that reminder to wait the 2 minutes. So the lap record at this track in real life is Valtteri Bottas, who set a 1:18.183. Valtteri Bottas setting a track record, not Lewis Hamilton? How could it be? That doesn't seem right. All jokes for all you Bottas fans out there. As we continue to wait. Not much for me. Not much else for me to talk about, unfortunately. I think my New York Islanders inevitably getting a win over the New Jersey Devils. It's good news. Good news. Any other sports news going on? We have NBA today. Go Utah. My Kansas City Chiefs released like the best lineman that they've had in a long time. Sad. I wonder how the Div 1 race is going. Shall we go on to the... Oh, I can't though, because I'm on the hotspot for the stream, or for the recording, so I can't. Otherwise I would. Boy, wouldn't that be something to have Crash load up the Div 2 race and then hear himself on it. That'd be amazing. Wouldn't that be something, eh? Speaking of Crash, so we're not sure, but we might have a special stream for the Russia Grand Prix. The one that we should have had a couple weeks ago, but didn't because the lobby crashed. So, not sure what's in the works for that, as we have 30 seconds until our session starts here, at least our formation lap. So that's good news. Good to see. Good to see. Love to see it. Righto, here we are at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, here in Spain. We have the Haas on pole, OP Magic getting pole. How that has happened, I've never seen this kid in the league at all, across any division, unless he is the Cam guy. That's just his Discord name. I'm not sure. Could that be him? I'm not really sure, but as far as I know, Adeltonian was in a Alfa Romeo, so this doesn't make any sense to me, but... That's okay. It doesn't really need to. Let's keep this menu up, actually. Get the position change detail. So OP Magic starting on the medium tires here, which I think is actually a little bit different. Actually, not really. Most of the, I think it's actually, could be split 50-50 between the soft and medium compound. What's it got? 6. We've got 8 on the soft compound. So we must have 10 on the medium compound. If you stop on the mediums, you could stop you could stop for the hards and go the rest of the way, or you could stop for the softs, and you'll have to make a little stop after that. But tell you what, this is going to be interesting here, considering that OP Magic is really a sitting duck at this point. I mean, he's got Sadistic King behind him in the Williams. Sadistic King known for getting some really, really good starts and pressuring the leader right off the bat, if he isn't it already. Behind him, we've got Super Ninos in the Renault. What a great qualifying result for him. Hopefully he and Renault can put on a show here today. Smith Pell up in 4th, a very solid result for the McLaren team. Cake Thomas in 5th, a little bit further back than he's used to, I must say. But no doubting Cake Thomas's talent. Expect to see him move up through the field. The Yuppie back there in 6th. I think we've seen him once or twice before, possibly. Hash 9211. Last week's, I would say, race winner, but unfortunately was taken from Detail in 8th in the Mercedes. Who got the first podium of the year for the Mercedes team. Almost ready to go here. And the grid is starting to form up. Behind our leader, OP Magic. So here we are, ready to go for the Spanish Grand Prix here in the Circuit Barcelona, Catalonia. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. lights out, and away we go here in Spain. I think OP Magic got a solid start. Next to him was Sadistic King, but Sadistic King gonna shoot up the right-hand side of OP Magic and really just get that spot going. OP Magic actually holding up Super Nance just a little bit. Smithpell trying to find the right-hand side there. Doesn't get too much room. And for now holds third, but that's a Williams that's gone off. And I believe that is Saffron City, who is sliding across the track and has collected possibly someone else. And Saffron City's actually received 5-second penalty for a severe collision. And so that, devastating for Saffron City in the Williams. However, his Williams teammate of Sadistic King out to the early lead at the moment. OP Magic behind him, who's managed to keep second place despite losing his first place position that he started on. The rest of the field starting to get in the single file line here, although we do have, I believe, a little bit of movement here. We have Money Map moving past Details. They head out of turn number 9. And into 10 they go. Oh, it's 3 wide here between the two. Ghosting is on. That shouldn't have happened. Okay, well, we had a 3 wide battle. We've got a Mercedes that's just gone a little bit sideways and Impossible Bacon. I don't think ghosting was supposed to be on, ladies and gentlemen, but it is, as we've just seen. Righto, anyways, as they come to the line, Sadistic King setting the early fastest lap. However, DRS is apparently named now. Righto, or anyway, Spool and Dub coming into the pits. Oh yeah, he's lost his end plate on his right-hand side, replacing his entirety of the front wing. Only one opting to go to the pits, other than I believe that is Cake Thomas as well, who is also repairing his front wing. And so that is very, very tough for the AlphaTauri of Cake Thomas there. I don't know if he possibly made contact on the start. It surely could have been what happened. As the Williams of Saffron City comes in as well. He's actually going to be serving his penalty. Magic has formed a little bit of a gap behind second place of Smithpell. Smithpell, though, might be under pressure from Hash 9211 very shortly to come. It's actually right along with Hash, as he was surely going to be making some of these tough moves in. A very tight battle here between OP Magic and Sadistic King. This is going to be one to look out for. This is the battle for the lead here, going on to lap number 4. They go, and I believe DRS is actually going to be enabled this time, even though it said last lap. This game is very strange. OP Magic can hold it in right behind Sadistic King for now. I think he may have actually gotten a little bit of a lock-up through that corner, but he's played it off and pretended it didn't exist. And he's getting the much better line through turn 3. He's making up a lot of ground on Sadistic King, and here they go into turn 4, and this is going to be a close one here as they go in. And it looks like Sadistic King's going to get the advantage out of the corner for now. He's gone very wide, pushing OP Magic to the far edge of the track. And Sadistic King taking the position for now. The OP Magic right up on his tail still as they head up the hill through 7 and 8, and then into 9, and then eventually into the DRS section. DRS opening now for OP Magic. Sadistic King's going to have to try very hard to hold him off as they head into 10. Into 10 they go. A little bit of a lockup for OP Magic there. Could he have possibly been made contact with Sadistic King? He braked very, very late, and Sadistic King able to hold the position. Although we do have movement possibly towards the rear, towards the middle of the pack, as Swede might be making the move on Yuppie shortly, as Yuppie gets a big lockup going into 14. Flag over in Sector 1. That is a Williams that has gone off, and I believe that is Saffron City, who has gone very much across the track. Meanwhile, OP Magic has taken the lead in the DRS section, going into turn 1. As you can see there, that is kind of what I assume possibly someone going off. That might have actually been Saffron on lap 1. But for now, OP Magic out to the lead. The Yuppie and Swee still battling it out here, possibly. Potentially. As they head through 4. He's actually done well to make himself a lot of ground here. He's 5 spots since the start. Meanwhile, GDB currently sitting in 8th, 10 spots since the start of the race after he started in 18th. So OP Magic now has a second gap over second place of Sadistic King. time by. Now the field's starting to get dispersed just a little bit here, but we still have this three-car little mixture for 6th place. Towards the top of the grid, though, we have Smith Pell might be making a move on Sadistic King shortly. Smith Pell has shown bags of speed today, specifically in the qualifying section. We'll see if it translates here into the race. Magic setting the fastest lap again. I will say these clouds are very, pretty thick actually. Might get some rain here at some point. Boy, would that be interesting to see. Rain in Spain only means one thing: pain. Well, it has made for some good racing in the past. GDB moving up into 7th as I believe he overtakes the Yuppie. He's falling back into 8th. Still towards the front of the grid, though. Smith Pell maybe starting to go under pressure from Hash 9211. Sadistic King starting to drop even further back from OP Magic. OP Magic now putting almost 2.5 seconds on Sadistic King. Mind you, OP Magic is on the medium compound, Sadistic King on the softs. And realistically, OP Magic was able to overtake Sadistic King with ease. It took him a couple tries, but he eventually got it done, and it's now built up, going on almost 3 seconds of gap. Your Hash 9211, maybe trying to peek the inside of Smith Pell eventually, maybe if he gets that line correctly. But as we go further back, he's still down into 8th. GDB done well to pick up 11 spots since the initial start. This is some of the closest battles on track. We do have Best Puns and Money Map potentially as they're going to be going through the DRS section this time by. We do have a Renault in the pits, and that's going to be Super Neat. That's what's going on with him. And he is going to be just a normal stop, putting on the medium tires. Apparently. Oh. Okay. Meanwhile, Best Puns and Money Map in a side-by-side battle, and Best Puns has just gone around. Does he have wing damage? The answer is no, but surely that's going to be, could be a steward report, as those two were very much side by side, and Best Puns nearly collecting racing ginger as he rejoins the track. Very close there. Kate Thomas back in 17th. He might need to make the move on Spooled Up here very shortly, as he's now going to be getting into 16th. Quite unfortunate for Kate Thomas as well. Not really sure what's happened to him for him to be all the way back in 16th, losing 11 spots since the initial start. Meanwhile, OP Magic has built up a 4-second gap on Sadistic King. Hash 9211 still applying the pressure to Smith Pell, and it's getting even closer by the lap. Smith Pell having to break, or Hash 9211 having to break just a little bit late on that. Exit through 14, lost a little bit of time. Ahead of him, Smith Pell does have the DRS. Heavy S making the pass on Yuppie. Yuppie who is going ahead. We'll see contested here out of turn 2. Hash 9211 getting a little bit too wide on exit of 3, though I believe he's just gotten a warning. No penalty has come up yet. Hopefully while to keep Smith Pell under pressure. Turn 5 they go. Hash 9211 choosing to use very much majority of that track on exit turn 5. They can build up a little bit more speed, and now they're going to be heading through the DRS section. Sadistic King doing a good job so far of keeping these two drivers behind him pretty much clearing them. As I say that, Hash 9211 still trying his best to make up ground on Smith Pell as they head up the hill through sector 3. Cars, I believe, chose to possibly come in. If you look at these stops, yeah, mostly towards the back of the field. 5 cars making stops. Hash 9211 possibly actually getting in the gravel there, but here he is on exit of 16 down the straight. He has the DRS. This is going to be fun to watch right here. Choosing to take the outside. A little bit of a bold strategy there, I must say. Through the corner they go, side by side, and it looks like Smith Pell's going to take the position for now. And as I say that, Hash 9211 gets it, but Smith Pell's still right there. Brilliant racing this is, and eventually Hash 9211 getting the position over Smith Pell. Very brilliantly done there from those both drivers to keep that clean and entertaining at the same time. As we head back through the field Heavy S might be trying to make his moves on GDB at some point. It's a position change. Yeah, Heavy S has made up quite some ground. He's made up 7 spots since the initial start. The biggest mover so far is GDB. He's made up 12 spots. Patch 9211 making up 4 since the initial start. Speaking of Patch 9211, he had the DRS on Sadistic King. He's nearly getting past him. Not that much of a gap. Smith-Pell starting to just fall off a little bit. Still within DRS range. On 14 and 15 they go, and Sadistic King is going to opt to come into the pits this time by. Patch 9211, I will say, has got a lot of ground to make up on OP Magic, though. I will say, Patch 9211 has looked like one of the faster cars in the field so far today. Battles going on. Smith-Pell still hanging it pretty close to Patch 9211. Doing his best to keep it interesting. As we look further down the field, Super Nunes could be making a move on Sadistic King right now, and yes, he does. Well done from the driver in the Renault. Still very tightly contested right here. Side by side they go into 4. Sadistic King's not going to get the inside, question mark. Yep, he's not going to get it. And GDB getting a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Where is GDB? I believe he's actually... Oh, I tell you what, he probably got that on exit at turn 9. That's quite unfortunate as well. Yellow flag over in Sector 1. Who could that be? And that looks like Spool and Dub, who is going a little bit too slow to not draw suspicion. So I believe he could have gone off maybe on exit 2, maybe hitting the gravel, not really sure. Into the pits comes Smith-Pell. He currently sits 3rd. Let's see where he's going to come out from this stop. He's not going to lose too many positions, so he's going to lose some. Solid stop there from Smith-Pell. And he's going to be racing on exit here as I believe that's Super Nunes behind him. This is going to be a close one as they exit pit lane. I believe Smith-Pell only getting it now. Oh yeah, this is going to be a close one. Into the corner they go. Super Nunes is on the better compound. He's on the mediums, though Smith-Pell on the fresher tires. And Super Nunes barely getting that position as Smith-Pell drops to 9th on exit pit lane. Speaking of Smith-Pell, he's gone a little bit wide there over in turn 3. Heavy S trying to put some pressure on GDB, but Heavy S, he's also under pressure from Impossible Bacon. He's actually right along with Impossible Bacon on this. This could be very interesting to watch here. 3-car battle for this 4th spot. Heavy S getting a little bit wide. Impossible Bacon shoots the left-hand side. Into 10 they go. And it looks like Bacon's going to get the position for now. Still wheel-to-wheel on exit of 10. That's brilliant there. Oh, and it looks like Heavy S maybe just shoved Impossible Bacon a little bit too far off the track. And what's this here? Yuppie has gone off. Yuppie and Best Pawns have gone off, and Yuppie is in the middle of the track. And what has happened to him? Has he lost his wheel? And Best Pawns now just hit the wall as well. And Yuppie has lost his front wheel. I believe he could have hit the inside of turn 8 as he the right wheel of his car has gone off. And we do have a safety car here in what is to be not the best timing, especially if you're OP Magic, who is quite enjoying this 8-second gap he has on 2nd place. So very interesting turn of events here. I feel bad for Yuppie as well. I tell you what, that qualifying session, he had a lot of potential for this race, and it's quite unfortunate that I had to go down this way, but that is unfortunately just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Look at who's made stops and who's haven't. So the top 3 of OP Magic, Hash, and Sui are the only people to not make stops yet. As we say that, OP Magic, he's coming in the pits. I'm going the wrong way. So OP Magic might be actually keeping this spot here because he's got Hash 9211 behind him. Sui is only coming out now. Oh, so Sui's going to stay out. So Sui's going to be picking up the lead here. So an interesting little shuffle in drivers here. Oh, and OP Magic's going to be keeping the position on exit. Wow. Clutch timing from OP Magic there. He had quite a big gap on Sui to be able to make the stop and then come out in the lead anyways. Brilliant stuff there. Very solid stop from the Haas team. So Sui still hasn't made a stop. He's on 11 lap old medium tires. Currently the oldest tires in the field. Grab a sip of my water. Best Pawns has received a drive-through penalty for speeding under safety car. Unfortunate for the Renault driver. His teammate, though, Super Ninos, look at him. He's up to 4th. Solid drive he's having so far. Still losing 1 spot since the initial start, but I tell you what, that is not terrible. What a result that would be for the Renault team. Interesting turn of events to say the least here with this, I wouldn't say late safety car, we're not even halfway through the race yet, but potentially game-changing class. So we're probably going to get at least this lap. Safety car. Might come in this lap, that's the hope at least. Going to be certainly an interesting one as Super Ninos, we're going to ride along with him on this restart. Actually, let's ride along with Hash. Let's run on the telemetry to just see how it's going. Because there's a lot of stuff going on with the safety car restarts, especially we saw last week where it was really just a ruling decision that came down to getting Hash 9211's win taken away. Some people that was not the right decision whatsoever. To others, it was justified. So we'll see what happens here on this restart. The Yuppie in the Haas being the first DNF of the day. And as the safety car heads through the DRS section, hopefully, we'll be back on the green this lap, and yes, we will. So who are we watching on this restart? Well, the answer is really going to be OP Magic in the Haas. He's got Saffron City, the back marker of the Williams back marker, sitting right between him and Hash 9211. Hash 9211 also on fresh hard tires. Super Ninos has the medium tires, so they are 6 lap old. So we'll have to see how this plays out. For now, we're going to ride along with Hash 9211 to see how good of a restart he can get here. And Impossible Bacon, a couple drivers getting a time penalty back further in the pack. Interesting stuff happening there. Now we've got a couple drivers back towards the rear end of the grid that have come together, possibly got a Renault entering the pit. That is Best Pawns. What has happened to him that has caused him to want to make a stop here on the safety car restart? That is very intriguing to say the least. But as we look through the field, Hash 9211 still struggling to probably get around Saffron City. So Saffron's going to have to move out of the way. Though at the moment, there's not really a safe place to do that, so it's going to be interesting to see here. Driver's getting onto the grassy part there as, Super Duke's got a little bit loose there. Split second. Heavy S has received a time penalty for multiple warnings. So a couple drivers here have penalties. 8 seconds for Heavy S. Possible Baking's got 5 seconds, and then GDP has 3 seconds, which I believe he already had. So, nothing to see there. And a yellow flag in sector 2. That is the Renault of Best Pawns that's gone off. And he's in such a part where I cannot, where the camera doesn't pick him up. And how much front wing has he lost? The answer is none. So has he just lost it on exit of 7? That's very much a possibility. Possible movement towards the front of the grid. We've got a couple cars, mixture of cars here. So the position changing there somewhere. If we look further back, Saffron City picking up a time penalty for multiple warnings, which I believe was on exit of 3, in the middle of it. Possible Bacon, could he look to the inside of GDB as they head through 4? Looks like GDB's going to get the corner for now. Possible Bacon maybe making contact with his rear end right there as they head out of the corner. And a safety car. Oh, and Best Pawns has gone off. What has happened to him? Has he hasn't hit the entry to pit lane, has he? Surely not. What has happened that has caused Best Pawns to DNF by himself? And I'm not going to speculate here, but I think he's hit the pit wall barrier. We'll have to see if there's any skid marks or anything as we're coming through right here. Yeah, I can't really see why a DNF would have happened right there, but so the second DNF of the day and the second safety car of the day. And I'm not going to say another tough break for OP Magic because he's still on relatively fresh tires, but this is certainly not what he wanted, as he has already built up nearly 2 seconds of gap back on hash 9211 prior to the safety car. 3 cars entering the pits. That includes Saffron City and the Williams. Coming his stop, Detail, and the Mercedes has just left with Super Natas coming out right now. So another wild turn of events here. Mind you, Sadistic King, there he is up in 4th. He is up on the oldest tires inside the top 7 cars right now, so that could be something to look out for. I know Sadistic King is kind of known for having these really oddball strategies that oftentimes work, so never know. But another safety car here. Unfortunately, we were getting right back into the swing of things, and then, unfortunately, safety car had to happen. So hopefully we can get some green flag, possibly, maybe next lap, as we've got the Mercedes, I believe that's Detail forming up now. It's not going to be coming in this lap, but hopefully next lap. Lap 16 going on to 17. We're beyond halfway through now, or I believe we're going to be halfway through this next lap. Excuse my inability to do math. Let's actually tell you what, while we have a second here. No, still can't do that because I'm still on the, still using this to provide stable connection to the lobby. I was really very, very close again to saying, you know what, let's go check in on Div 1, see how they're doing. But that is not possible, so. Goodness me, I hope to one day have competent Wi-Fi. So as we possibly head on to another restart this lap, I mean, if you look at this top pretty much 10 right now, it's going to be a very close battle. I think on the freshest tires in the top 10 at the moment is the top 2 of OP Magic and Hash. If you look a little further back, we got Sui back there in 11th, who's on 3-lap old hards. Spool and Dub, the only driver in the field currently who has chosen to fit the soft compound. Back to the restart this time by. Hopefully no penalties to be received this time for the chicane. And here we are back racing again here in Spain. Down the grid we go, Heavy S and Cake Thomas possibly in this battle for 7th as they head into turn 1. Hash 9211 lines you up in the Ferrari, possibly trying to make a move for the lead as Cake Thomas getting the move. Nice and easy done for Heavy S. OP Magic maybe getting a little bit wide on exit 3. Hash 9211 trying his best to keep it right there with him. Sadistic King has found his way. Oh, he's going to get passed by GDB here very shortly. Side by side through the corner. Contact being made. And Sadistic King picking up that spot for now. Oh, lots of contact there. And I believe GDB's just hit him again. So a closely contested battle here. Let's ride along with this as they head through the DRS section. That they're not going to have. Scramble through the pack here. I believe that's Cake Thomas possibly making the move on the Impossible Bacon. Bacon shooting back just a little bit. Heavy S possibly to the inside of Cake Thomas. If he's going to make the move, it's going to have to be right here, and he's not going to make it happen this time. Very tightly contested right there, but as we see, pretty close still between the top 2 of OP Magic and Hash 9211. I will say, OP Magic, what a drive he is putting on in the Haas team. Hash 9211 slowly becoming one of the stronger drivers in the division for that Ferrari team. Lots of potential out of him, although we haven't seen too much of him just yet. A little bit of change in position through the field. Moneyman getting past Sui as they head into turn 4. Battle is happening. We still have this 3 or 4 car battle here, possibly almost 5. This whole kind of stretch of cars here, easily within half a second of each other. We're going to go up and right along with Impossible Bacon as they head out of turn 9. Down the DRS section and go into turn 10. Impossible Bacon maybe getting a better line than GDB that time, maybe up a little bit of space. Meanwhile, the front of the grid, OP Magic has put over a second on Hash 9211 out. Cake Thomas right up against Impossible Bacon here with the DRS this next lap. Going to be an interesting to watch for sure as GDB has picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I believe Impossible Bacon has had his just a little bit, though. I think Heavy S has picked up one as well. Let's find out. So GDB, that's his second penalty. Barking in the background. There's Cake Thomas. Can he make the move on Impossible Bacon this time, going into 4? Side by side they go. Cake Thomas getting really wide there, keeping it on the track as well. He's going to get the left-hand side into the corner, and Cake Thomas getting the position for now, though I'm sure Impossible Bacon is not going to let him just get away with that one. And a nice clean move there from Cake Thomas nonetheless. And we're going to have the DRS this time by as well. Racing Ginger picking up Impossible Bacon getting a little squirrely coming out of 10th. So Sadistic King possibly trying to make some ground up on Smith Pell. Smith Pell's a little bit further behind Hash 9211, but I tell you what, Sadistic King coming into the pits. Interesting choice there. So some movement throughout the field. Let's see if Impossible Bacon can make the move on Cake Thomas as they head into one. They've got the DRS, all three of these drivers. Who's going to break the latest? Who's going to be the craziest, I guess? There's not much else to describe it. Well, this is an interesting battle here. So Heavy S right up on the end of Domingos as they head up into turn 4. Oh, what's this? Who's gone off here? That is one of the Williams. I believe it's going to be Saffron City. Something has happened with him to cause that. Further down the pack we go. Cake Thomas still trying to battle along with GDB. Heavy S still trying to find maybe a way around Domingos, possibly in the next DRS section. If we look at the entire life of these drivers so far, Smith Pell on the oldest tires right now, aside from Domingos, who's on the oldest medium tires of 12 laps. So he's certainly going to be falling off the pace here very shortly. Closing in on 10 to go here within a couple laps. Cake Thomas still trying to find his way around Impossible Bacon. OP Magic picking up another fastest lap. Section they go side by side down the straight. GDB is going to be overtaken by Cake Thomas, though. I think Impossible Bacon might have it as well. Impossible Bacon is going to choose the left-hand side. GDB nearly losing 2 spots within one DRS section. That would have been unfortunate for him. But can Cake Thomas now start to make up some ground on Smith Pell? Cake Thomas has had a very, very up and down day, to say the least. Up and down the leaderboard. It's not just in morale. But I tell you what, he's up to 4th. Impossible Bacon still trying to make some moves around GDB. Check back in with him in just a little bit. But for now, Super Datus and Money Map possibly might have an overtake here. Impossible Bacon to go further up the grid into the DRS section. Impossible Bacon's going to have to go a little bit wider and exits on the inside of the corner. Oh yeah, this is going to be a close one here. These two drivers have been battling it out for some time now. OP Magic setting the fastest lap again. Out of turn 16 they go. Down the straight, GDB getting wide, trying to block off the left-hand lane. Impossible Bacon staying within the slipstream. Down the straight they go and into turn 1. GDB getting overtaken there by Impossible Bacon, but into 1 they go. Can GDB strike back? The answer is no for now. Oh, and apparently so. What has happened to Impossible Bacon that has caused him to lose that spot? Well, he's lost it momentarily. Can he get it back as they head into 4? Oh, and this is a tight battle here, and GDB's completely not really given but Impossible Bacon any room there whatsoever. Very aggressive driving here from GDB, trying to keep that spot, though he does have that penalty. So does Impossible Bacon as well. Look at the penalties. Right, so GDB's got 6 seconds, Impossible Bacon's got 5 seconds, so stuff to look out for there. Has Impossible Bacon picked up any wing damage there is my question, because he was very close to being completely shoved off the track as he's going to make the overtake. This time, possibly, the answer is no for now. 12 they go, and out of 12 into 13. This is going to be the battle to watch. However, we do have Cake Thomas and Smith Pell possibly an overtake here for 3rd as they head down the straight. So we getting past Domingos. Domingos head for the fence. Down into turn 1 they go. Cake Thomas had a much better line there. He's going to have the inside of the track as well, though Smith Pell able to keep a lot of his pace there. GDB and Impossible Bacon, what a battle this has been between these two drivers as they head into 4 now. And it looks like Impossible Bacon hasn't actually received any wing damage, though very well could have. kind of surprised he didn't, especially with how hard these two have been battling, elbows out the whole time. Let's still stick around with this fight. Cake Thomas might have the DRS this time. Violet's actually right along with him. He's going to get the DRS. Now, can he find the line into 10? Smith Pell's going to be giving him the outside. Solid defensive driving there from Smith Pell. Both of the drivers getting a good line. Impossible Bacon making up the spot. Heavy S has retired from the session, and we have a safety car. Virtual safety car has come out, and where has Heavy S gone? And he is way on the inside of the track, and he has unfortunately DNF'd, and that is a shame because he was having a solid race going for him as well. Wow, drama. 10 laps to go as well. And GDB picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. The virtual safety car. That is very, very unfortunate. I believe Impossible Bacon has made up the spot again. Cake Thomas, can he find this way around Smith Pell? Smith Pell doing some very solid defensive driving for sure as they head through turn 4. That's a nice camera shot that was. Righto, as they exit 4. Into 5 they go. Cake Thomas wants the right-hand side of the track. May have made contact with Smith Pell's right rear. On exit of 5. Up the hill through 6, 7, and then 8. Cake Thomas is right there. This is going to be a close one as they head through the DRS section. Smith Pell's been doing some very solid defensive driving so far, and I don't think Cake's going to be able to get around him this time. Cake's going to try to take the right-hand side. He's going to get just enough room on the track as well, and Cake Thomas making the spot, but they nearly collide. But Cake Thomas making the overtake for 3rd. What a move there from Cake Thomas, though, and this is going to concern me with Cake Thomas is on 13-lappable medium tires. I'm not really sure how long those tires can last. That is going to be something to look out for here, as most of the field is on the hard compound. GDB has entered the pits, taking his drive. Also drama here. Impossible Bacon, mind you, he's now trying to put the moves on Smith Pell for that 4th spot. Impossible Bacon doing a solid job of hanging along with this chain of 3 cars here. And at the top of the grid, OP Magic has made a 3.5-second gap on Hash 9211. Despite the penalty that Impossible Bacon will receive, this would be another solid weekend for that Mercedes team. You know, it looks like Impossible Bacon would be moving down to at least maybe 8th or 9th. So that's going to be something worth watching there for sure. Smith Pell under pressure from Impossible Bacon. Impossible Bacon trying to move his way through the field as much as he can. Make up for the penalties that he does have. Let me tell you, Impossible Bacon has shown bags of pace today. And if we look at the tires as well, Smith Pell on lap with the tires. So pretty much a lot of these drivers are starting to get to that gray area of when does the tire get too old to make any progress. And I think who's starting to hit that mark especially is Cake Thomas. Not that many laps to go. Sadistic King all the way back down there in 11th. What a unfortunate day this is for the Williams team. Oh, and Impossible Bacon gets right into Smith Pell. Smith Pell has completely slammed on his brakes going into the corner. I'm not sure if Impossible Bacon just didn't read the braking zone correctly or what that was, but that is a very, very tough break for Impossible Bacon. He's lost his end plate on that side as well. And he is just completely ran into the back of Smith Pell. Interesting stuff there. Super Nina's possibly making the move on Sweet here within a couple laps, despite Super Nina's getting a little bit loose on entry of turn 14. Gonna get the overtake here. Impossible Bacon has entered the pits for that 1. having such a good race as well. I'm not really sure what's led him to run in the back of Smith Pell. Unfortunate there, but as we look up further in the grid, Superdinas is probably the closest battle in the field at the moment. Oh, Sui gets very loose on exit of 5, or exit of 4. He actually got into the gravel there along that left-hand side of the circuit. That basically happens if you take that, if you get on the throttle even a little too quickly through turn 4, that is going to be spell danger for you, as Sui nearly lost his car, but did a good job of keeping it under control. OP Magic setting the fastest lap again. He's now made up a 5-second gap on first place, or on second. Imagine knowing what places these drivers finish in. Battle to watch right here, as Superdinas is going to have the DRS this time by. Let's see if he can make the move up into 5th. Oh, it's going to be a close one here as they head over the hill that I can't see, and Superdinas taking the right-hand side of the track. Looks like Sui braked a little bit later, and Sui is going to hold on to the position for now. That was solid defensive driving from Sui, braking just that little bit later. Superdinas probably thought Sui was just going to concede the position to him, but no, Sui battled back nicely. This battle still isn't over yet, as Money Matt over in the Alfa Romeo garage, short-handed today as they're missing their second driver. Possibly could be making the move on detail very shortly. Still within DRS range, but if he goes still back up into the grid. This battle for the 5th spot here. Superdinas has the DRS as they head into 10. Does he want the right side? Oh no, he's going to choose the inside of the track. Oh, and I think he may have gotten a little bit loose there. Maybe some contact being made. We have a Ferrari that's gone off. Who could that be? And that is Spool and Dub, who is on the inside of the track. Hopefully he doesn't collect this racing point that's going to be passing through here very shortly. So unfortunate for Spool and Dub there, and he has lost quite a bit of his front wing as well. Unfortunate. Mind you, again here, Superdinas into turn 1 again. Can he make the move this time, though? For now, yes, but Sui is still right there, making this a very interesting battle. Side by side they go on exit of 2, and it looks like Superdinas is going to get the position for now. Hash 9211 has just picked up a time penalty for multiple warnings. Granted, I don't think it's going to mean much, as he has an 18-second gap back on 3rd place. However, 3-second time penalty there for Hash. See if Money Mac can make this move on detail. He's going to have the DRS again. And it looks like Smith Pell might be starting to make some ground up on Cake Thomas. I think 20-lap-old medium tires might be starting to be the enemy of Cake Thomas. Only going to be 2 laps to go. This is going to be interesting here. Let's see if Smith Pell can make up any more time as they head on to lap 31. Potential battle for the final podium spot here as we're just entering, or exiting the pits. That is teammates, so that is the Ferrari of Spool and Dub. So we'll have to check back in on that, but meanwhile, oh, we had an incident there. Meanwhile, Sui still trying to find his way back to Superdinas. Superdinas got really into the gravel there on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, Smith Pell closing in on within 2 seconds of Cake Thomas, though he's going to have to make that overtake very shortly. Detail has just picked up a 3-second time penalty. Sui got a little bit loose there. So Smith Pell, can he make up this ground onto King Thomas. He doesn't have a lot of time left to do it. However, it is still very possible. Oh, and he got really loose there on exit of 15. Into the DRS section they go. I can assure you that Smith Pell is using every bit of that ERS that he can possibly use. He's closed the gap to within 2.5 seconds. He doesn't have any time to make mistakes here. Smith Pell could possibly get this spot, though it looks like King Thomas right now running the faster lap times. Could be interesting to watch. Meanwhile, there's still probably the closest battle in the race so far. Sui and Super Nana still battling out as they head through the pole. They'll check back in there, but here's Domingos. Can he make the move on Impossible Bacon? As they're going to be heading into turn 4. The answer is no for now, though that battle is getting a lot closer. He has fallen outside the 1 second mark on Super Nanos. OP Magic has started his final lap. So OP Magic in the Haas as he starts his final lap of the Barcelona-Catalunya circuit here in Spain. The driver who I actually had no idea about going into this race. No idea whatsoever. Never seen the man's name before. And here he is, nearly half a lap away from giving Haas, I believe, their first win of the season. I believe Ginett was the only other Haas driver so far this season to finish on the podium, and that was in Monaco, back when Ginett was just a part-time driver for this league. As we go a little bit further back, Sui and Super Nana still battling it out as they're going to be heading into 5. Still a close one there. I think Smith Pell, he's not got a lot of time to make that up. But OP Magic as he exits 14 and 15. Through turn 16 here, OP Magic gonna claim the win for Haas, their first of the season, and OP Magic getting the win here. What a commanding display from the Haas driver. And he is low on fuel as well. You can see the ticker in the bottom right flashing for him. Hash 9211 crossing the line in second. Cake Thomas probably going to be getting third here. He's got about 2 seconds of gap on Smith Pell, unless some catastrophic mistake happens here. But here's the battle for fifth. Super Ninas and Sui as they head through 14 and 15. This is going to be interesting here. And it looks like Sui's going to be getting this position for now. It looks like Sui will be crossing that line in first, and Money Matt picking up another penalty. Possible Bacon picking up the 3-second time penalty, but I tell you what a drive it's been from OP Magic. As we head further down the grid, though, this could be something happening here. Impossible Bacon and Domingos. This could be a battle right here. And it looks like Domingos is going to take this. He's going to win the battle and get that 9th spot. But again, OP Magic, what a drive it was for him, getting the win. What an unbelievably dominant display. I believe he started on pole as well. Started on pole for OP Magic, finishing in first. What a solid, solid drive. And Sui getting driver of the day for this race. And OP Magic giving Gunther Steiner and the Haas boys their win in the Midwest F1 League Division 2. And here we are, the final results for this race. OP Magic and the Haas finishing first, Hash 9211 in second, Cake Thomas third, Smith Pell in fourth, Swee in fifth, Super Nanas in sixth, Detail in seventh, Money Matt in eighth, Domingos finishing ninth, 10th is Sadistic King, 11th Impossible Bacon, 12th is Racing Ginger, 13th GDB, 14th Spool and Dub, 15th Saffron City, 16th Heavy S, 17th Best Pawns, 18th is the Yuppie, rounding out the field, and we will get those podium finishers in here very shortly. Right, so I am here with our podium finishers of the day, Cake Thomas, Hash 9211, and OP Magic 3. Cake Thomas, I want to start with you. A very up and down day for you, but I tell you what, on the podium, that was a very solid and entertaining drive. Just take us through that race and what you had to overcome.
Yeah, I got into a collision on the first lap. I don't know if one of the cars in the front brake checked or whatever, but I hit the back of the Renault and then had to use the runoff, and then somebody spun in front of me, so I got my front wing taken out. After my first pit stop, I chose hard tires, which didn't really work out too well, but luckily that safety car came in and saved me with the mediums, and I was able to just save those mediums till the end of the race.
I tell you what, yeah, I was keeping an eye on you specifically because I saw you charging through that field. What an absolutely amazing drive it was for you. And I tell you what, the AlphaTauri team, really the biggest winners on the day, having both of your drivers finish in the top 10, and I believe Swee ended up getting 6th there. So I tell you what, a very, very solid result for your team, and only 5 more races to go after this. I mean, this battle for the Constructors Championship is getting ever so closer. So where do you take it from here? You're only... I mean, going into this race, you're only 35 points off of third, and even then, that gap between the other two teams is only 2 points. So, where do you go from here as we enter these next 5 races?
Just gotta try to stay consistent, keep qualifying in the top 10, running good laps, and staying clean in the race.
Absolutely, man. So next week is actually going to be our redo of Russia. So I don't remember if I got your opinion on that, but I mean, I tell you what, that's going to be something very interesting to watch. And then after that, we go to the United States and then Silverstone, the next up-and-coming 3 races. So, I mean, what do you think with that?
Yeah, me and Soy both are pretty strong at those tracks. So I'm hoping me and him could both rack in some points and really try to get that #1 spot in the constructors.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you for joining us. And then next up, we have Hash 9211. So, Hash, it was kind of unfortunate for you to have last week's win taken away with that penalty that you received. But I tell you what, you came back swinging and ended up getting 2nd place again. Very, very strong result for you. How did you manage?
Yeah, it was unfortunate in the last race. I didn't have the recording for that incident, but in this race, I think I was on the correct strategy, and initially I got off pretty well off the line. I thought I would be pretty slow with all the guys around me on softs, but on mediums I got off pretty well. I gained a couple of places, I think, and the start went pretty well. So after that, it was just keeping it clean and making it consistent, and yeah, so I was on the right strategy, so it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Ferrari, you guys had a pretty interesting day. You, obviously, the higher finisher. I think your teammate finished pretty much in the bottom half of the grid today. But I tell you what, these next 3 races, Russia, the United States, and then Silverstone, how do you figure your chances going into these next 3?
Yeah, so I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try to finish in the top 3 in all the races that are left, but it depends on my teammate as well. So I know the constructor battle is really close right now. I don't know what's the position after this race, but I guess it should go down to the wire.
Absolutely, and I'm having a lot of fun watching this, so thank you for joining me, Hash 9211. Thank you. Congratulations again on the podium. And now on to our race winner, OP Magic. I have never seen this guy in a stream before, and he comes out, qualifies on pole by a considerable margin, and then it goes and wins the race. I mean, that was an unbelievable drive, man.
Oh, thank you. Probably the other div, if I raced in my other nights, probably won't be not too impressive. But yeah, I was very happy tonight. Collie run, very happy. I mean, probably could have gone 1 or 2 tenths quicker. I made a little oversteer at the turn 4 on the exit, but overall really happy with Collie lap. And then the race start, I knew I wasn't going to get away well. So I just stick behind King and took my time, and then eventually pounced on him. And after just managed to race really, on warnings wise. And yeah, I was pretty happy with my race pace, and surprised that only thing I was surprised about was the tire temp. I really struggled to get tire temperature on the restart twice. First one, the rear was a bit cold, so it caught me out a little bit in the first half of the lap. And then the second time was a bit better. And yeah, just managed my pace really with Hush. I wasn't really pushing hard, to be honest. I was just managing my earth and feel the whole time. So, and but a little bit gutted not getting that fastest lap in the end. But what do you do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Overall, very happy.
And I tell you what, man. And I just on the start as well, Sadistic King was on the soft compound. You started on the mediums as well, which in the back of my mind I was thinking that actually could be a very strong strategy, considering you'd only have to stop once, and you made it work very well. And I tell you what, I hope we get you in some more of these races, because honestly, it was an absolute pleasure watching you race today. So assuming we do get you in future races, these next 3 tracks, same question to you: Russia, United States, and Silverstone. How do you rate your chances there?
Russia is a bit of 50-50 there. For in general, it's a little bit difficult to get right around there. USA, I'm pretty good at it, so I'm looking forward to that. I look forward to USA. Silverstone is just probably just a little bit of work on around that track. It's a little bit. I struggle a little bit there, but overall, just a little bit of work has to be done for the next race and the one after.
Absolutely, man. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Congratulations on the win. The first for Haas this season, the best finish of the season for the team as well. Surely you've jumped a couple places in the Constructors standings, so thank you very much for joining me. And to close out the stream, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Next week, we are doing the makeup race in Russia. Hopefully, we could possibly get a stream going on the Twitch channel. Might happen, might not. We'll see. We'll keep everybody in the Discord posted. But thank you all for joining me, and we will see you next time.